and let's talk about some of the teachers that we should watch and listen to. Let's see, where are we at with our timing? All right, we're good. We're good. All right, let's go and let's talk about some of the teachers that we should be listening to. I thought about throwing him in on the other side, just for kicks, but it's true. Joe Thorne is a friend of the channel, a good preacher, a good teacher, and he's someone that I think you really should follow. I have had the opportunity to interact with a few people who would be some of those people that a lot of people look up to, and they write books and they have podcasts and different things like that. Joe's the realest I've met. Like, he's just a real guy, a real pastor, a real theologian, and he loves people. And you can tell that. Like, even, I'll say it, just real personal thing. When I posted on my community tab about, having a lot of haters, and mostly I was trying to say that I'm going to interact with you guys now, and that's part of what the penalty box is coming up. But I was really just saying that. But Joe was concerned. Like, he was like, "Bro, are you okay? Like, are you gonna, like, it sounded like you were hurt by it." And he called me up. Like, he didn't have to do that. We talk every once in a while, but he didn't have to do that. But he's a loving guy and someone I really respect. And I think that you should check out his stuff. So that would be Doctrine and Devotion, the podcast. If you haven't listened to that podcast, I encourage you to go and listen to it. If you're interested in the idea of what it means to be a Reformed person, or a Reformed Baptist specifically, you should check out Doctrine and Devotion. It's not going to be something that's like way too much for you to process, that they go way too deep and they're talking about like the inner workings of the Ordo Salutis, and like going all into that kind of stuff. You're not going to get that kind of jargon. He's going to talk to you a little, like, you might maybe a little bit deeper than what I do here on my channel. But him and Jimmy have great conversations about solid theology, and even some interaction with a lot of different theologians that I think you should be paying attention to. They do a lot of interviews now over on Doctrine and Devotion. So that would be my number 5, just because it's real easy to say, hey, go check out my buddy. He's pretty great. Number 4 here is this YouTube channel. Maybe you've already seen him around the interwebs. Maybe you don't know, but Gavin Ortlund, son of Ray Ortlund, brother of Dane Ortlund. All the Ortlunds seem like pretty good guys. But Gavin has started a YouTube channel. And this is kind of like the other side of what I was talking about with Francis Chan. I do think that right now we are at this time where people are looking for something deeper than modern evangelicalism. They want something that's more grounded, that has more roots in ancient Christianity. And for some people, they are being suckered into Roman Catholicism. And I'll say it that way, because I do think that there is a purpose of some of these people who are online only saying certain things and not saying the things that their church actually teaches. But they're trying to get people to just be lured in to this idea of Roman Catholicism. And while Francis Chan is kind of saying, hey, it's fine, Gavin Ortlund is here, and he's giving real reasons why he's not Roman Catholic. And he's doing it in a gentle spirit, in a kind way. He's interacting with actual Roman Catholics. If you are interested in the differences between Roman Catholicism and evangelicalism, he's the guy. Not some of these other ones. He's the guy to go and listen to. I think that it would be well worth your time to check out some of his stuff. So the next up, there's his dad, Ray Ortlund. But next up is TJ Timms. I've talked about him a few times, but if I'm looking for a sermon, most of the time I'm going to check out Emmanuel Nashville's stuff. I pretty much listen to one of their sermons every week. But that was the church that was founded by Ray Ortlund, Gavin Ortlund's dad, and then took over. I think it was about maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Maybe it's longer than that. It probably is longer than that, actually. It's pandemic stuff, right? But TJ Timms took over the church, And man, that guy can preach. And he just like caught something. Ray Ortlund, he has a book called The Gospel, probably top 5 books of all time. I love that book. It's a little book. It's with the 9 marks stuff. You should check it out. But that guy understands the gospel, and he talks about it in a very basic way, but in a way that is so compelling. And TJ Timms just caught that. He understands the gospel, and not just like, okay, he can tell you what the gospel is, but he can tell you what the gospel is in every situation. And he always brings his sermons back to the gospel. What does it mean to believe the gospel in the context of this passage? How should we then live? Like that's what he gets. And so I just really love his sermons. If you are looking for new sermons, check out TJ Timms over at Emmanuel Nashville. I think that you'll be blessed by it. And I don't use that kind of terminology very much. I really mean it. I think he will be a blessing to you as he reminds you of the gospel, like a good preacher should. Next up on the list, someone you probably don't know. Where? I don't know where it is right now. I was going to show you his big Reformed theology book. Actually, it is. It's over there. I changed some things around. But this is Dr. Matthew Barrett over at Midwestern Baptist Theological Seminary. And I think that he is going to be the guy. The guy when it comes to Reformed Baptist theology. He is writing books that are super helpful. He's written books on the Trinity. He's written books on, like I have his really big one on the Reformers and their theology. That's phenomenal. It's a good reference book. But I think you should check out his stuff if you're looking for new books, especially about the Trinity. And I still believe that right now we are at this point where we need to remember the core doctrines because they're under attack. So the Trinity would be high up on the list. I think that you should check out his stuff. His books are great. Check out every single one of them. I think that he's going to, like, moving in. It was basically for a long time, it was Thomas Schreiner over at Southern. That he was just the guy. And anytime he wrote a book, you bought the book because it was always going to be good. And right now, I kind of think that's shifting to Matthew Barrett. He's someone that you should have on the list. Jeremy says, any Presbyterians on the list? No. Why would I do that? Why would I have Presbyterians on this list? Don't be ridiculous. Actually, TJ Timms is a Presbyterian. Oh, did you know that? You probably didn't know. All right. Next up on the list are my guys over at Theocast. Now, I've talked a little bit about Theocast here on the channel because of some different things that have been going on. Some people over at Apologia Radio talking some trash about them. I like these guys. Now, I've had the opportunity to become friends with John Moffat, but honestly, I listened to Theocast way back in the day. And so I watched a few things in between, but I haven't watched a whole lot. Sorry, John, but I haven't watched or listened to a whole lot until a couple months ago, and then I started watching what they were doing on YouTube because obviously I'm interested in what people are doing on YouTube so I can learn. But this last week I just did a deep dive watching a whole bunch of Theocast stuff, and man, are these guys good. These guys are so solid, and they're down to earth, and I so appreciate that. That's what I really want my channel to be about, is just down to earth theology, down to earth practical theology. And these guys are right there. You know, they don't talk about theology the exact same way I do. And I do have some differences, some things I was listening. And I was like, I don't know if I'd say that or, whatever. But I mean, these guys are so solid. They're fantastic. I think you should check out their podcasts. You should check out their videos. Subscribe to them over here on YouTube. They're just phenomenal. They're pastors. They care about people. They love people. And they want the same thing with TJ Timms. They want to remind you about the gospel and how Can you live out the gospel? What are the implications of the gospel in this moment, in this topic, in this cultural moment? They talk about some things going on with culture too. And I just really appreciate them. Well, tell MacArthur I'm busy. I got other stuff going on. Oh, hey, you made it through the whole video. That's awesome. If you really liked it, like you probably did because you watched the whole thing, why don't you hit the like button before you click on another video? I've got one just sitting right here. It was predestined. I'm a Calvinist, so it was predestined just for you.